Hello, possibly I think it's going to be my last YouTube video of the day. What's going on, my Breaking Bad fans? Obviously, this series has been out for over 10 years now. The last episode came out like 9 years ago. Um, but yeah, Breaking Bad, the 12th episode of the final season, season 5, Rabid Dog. We're going to be kind of talking about the plot and stuff again. Like I've said before, I've watched this entire series already. I just want to keep with the traditional singular episode reviews, and my dad has yet to see the rest of the series, so I've been watching episodes one by one with him and kind of giving you guys some reviews as we go. We have 4 more episodes. I'm going to be watching one later tonight, rewatching it, obviously, because I've already seen it. And it's really nice. I mean, this show has a lot of rewatch value. So I think me rewatching it is like adds more. I just realized some of the things that have happened. And with this TV show, I don't remember, or with this episode, I don't remember which thing it was that I rewatched. I was like, oh, like the exact detail, but I know it was with Marie and her therapist. She said something. I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense what she was saying before. I thought there was just a bunch of gibberish, nothing that really made sense. Obviously, I knew that she was trying to find the untraceable stuff, but it is kind of crazy that the ironicness of that because of Walt using ricin, an untraceable poison to kill people. So Walt creeps casually through his house in search of Jesse, who broke in and doused it in gasoline, but Jesse is nowhere to be found. One of the most intense scenes in this entire show. Obviously nothing happens, and when I rewatched it, I was like, he's not gonna find anything, but I'm sure my dad watching it first time was like, oh my god, is Jesse going to be hiding in one of the rooms? Is he going to come out and strangle him, turn him in? There's so many things that Jesse could have done. Obviously, we figure out what happened to Jesse very soon after this occurrence. It took a while for Jesse to be introduced in this episode, which put some suspense into the viewers' minds as like what happened to Jesse. Did he kill himself? I mean, obviously he really couldn't have because El Camino's a thing. Them releasing that movie, and if you hadn't watched the show, like it spoils that Jesse's still alive, pretty much. But after a cleaning crew cannot fully remove the gasoline scent, Walt douses his clothing in the seats of his car in it, kind of trying to make an anecdote, trying to make like a story to kind of cover his own ass, and try to hide the fact that his family is in danger once again. And Skylar's been fearing that ever since she found out that he was a meth cook and like what the business entails and stuff like that. He's kind of trying to hide that from her. He tells a doubtful Skylar and Walt Jr. a complicated fabrication about a pump malfunction at the gas station. Now, some people think this is a pretty believable excuse, but when I was watching this, I already knew that Skylar and Walt Jr. found this to be ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm living in today's era and I'm saying, how the fuck could a pump malfunction happen? Maybe back in 2013 when this episode is being shot it could happen. I don't know, man. But Walt moves the family into a hotel until the carpet and flooring can be replaced. Now, there's a suspenseful moment in that scene where Walt was trying to kind of tell them their story and kind of feed them his excuse. Walt Jr. was like, I forgot exactly what he said. Like, why do you keep lying to us? You fainted. You're sick again. And to be honest with you, Walter, if I was Walter and being a smart man that he is, I would have went along with that. I would be like, oh. I would have been like, I would have like acted totally out. I would have been like, fine, yes, I'm sick. I fainted. It spilled everywhere, but luckily, no, I didn't get hurt. I'm back home. Someone drove me home or something. Someone rode me in my car. I don't even fucking know how you can make that excuse. I don't know. Walt should have just went with Walt Jr.'s excuse. Marie wouldn't have been as skeptical of like Jesse, dousing the house with the gasoline if he would have went with Walt Jr.'s thing. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Why is my camera like that? It needs to like get down a little bit. Okay, cool. That looks good. All right. So they go to a hotel to kind of get away from the house and the gasoline. It's kind of toxic. So Walt secretly meets with Saul and QB in the hotel's parking lot, asking for an update on Jesse's whereabouts, using the opportunity of his family. Hold on, let me move over a little bit because I'm getting in the way of the thing. Using the excuse of his family not necessarily knowing where he's at, talk to Saul and QB about what's going on with Jesse, kind of trying to find some things, their next course of action, kind of regrouping with the only people that are really on his side, like QB, Huel, and Saul. Those are the only people that are really on his side. So Saul hints at the possibility of killing Jesse, but Walt rejects the idea and warns him to never bring it up again. The same thing happened when Saul asked him about Hank. That's something I'm kind of just realizing now. The same type of dialogue happened there. Man, this show puts so much into it, and it's just so awesome how they hide these things, these parallels. Back in their hotel room, Skyler confronts Walt over his lies, having just seen him with Saul. She knows something is up. She knows something has to do with the drug situation and why their house is covered in gasoline. Skyler spying on him. Walt's like, "Are you spying on me?" Like, statements like this show that Walt only did it for himself, and this kind of starts to foreshadow into him talking to Skyler in their final scene together. Walt confesses that Jesse is upset and tried to burn down their house, but says he is not concerned because Jesse decided against it. He's like, "Jesse would never. I'm too toxic." He's pretty much saying I manipulate him around too fucking much for him to want to kill me, It's putting him in a more dangerous situation than he already is in. Excuse me. A shocked Skyler praises Walt to kill Jesse, who she views as a threat to their safety, saying, "We've come this far, what's one more?" So I guess this is kind of Skyler starting to kind of realize, like, the reality of their situation and the reality of what Walt has been doing for the past 2 years of his life. She's kind of starting to realize, like, what her husband's gotten into, and just making a casual statement. What's one more? Why can't you just go out and kill him? He's trying to hurt our family. I'm usually against killing people, but again, safety of my family, and it's become normal for you to kill people, so you might as well make one more. It's very cold. It's very chilling. One of the most chilling quotes that Skyler has this whole series. A flashback reveals that Jesse did not simply change his mind. Hank, having trailed Jesse to Walt's residence after Jesse assaulted Saul, managed to talk Jesse out of torching the house and convince him to work together to bring Walt down. So pretty much Jesse starts working with the feds. He pretty much starts ratting on Walt. It's kind of insane. It was very unexpected. So when I watched it again, it didn't hit as different. But we were watching what happened to Jesse, and all of a sudden, Hank burst in, gun fired. Like, oh my god, it was insane. Like, me and my cousin were watching, and we're like, holy shit, fucking Hank saved Walt's ass. Hank saved Walt's ass. And looking back on it now, after seeing Walt pretty much getting Hank killed, spoiler, because I watched this. Sorry, I'm so sorry. If you didn't watch the next episode, or the 14th episode, I'm sorry. Damn, that's tough. I watched the entire series. I warned you at the beginning. You might as well just watch the whole show before you come back and watch my reviews from 12 to 16. And looking back on this, it's like, oh my god, Hank helped Walt. Hank saved Walt, and in return, Hank and Jesse left the house seconds before Walt arrived. I mean, that's kind of some plot convenience, to be honest. I would have loved to see, like, a standoff between those two. That would have been cool. Marie talks to her therapist about her issues with Walt, but stops short of revealing the true extent of his criminality. So she doesn't really want to talk about, like, who this person is, why he did what he did, because obviously she doesn't want everyone to know that she's connected to Walter at all. That wouldn't be a very good situation for Marie, so she smartly kind of backs off. Hank keeps Jesse at their house because he believes that he will be more protected there. Marie agrees because Hank assures her that things will turn out badly for Walt. Marie's like, as long as some bad shit's gonna happen to Walt, and as long as this is like a development in that case and it like makes shit worse for Walt, then I'm fine with it. You do whatever you need to do as a DEA agent. I support you, type of thing. Hank and Gomez tape Jesse as he recounts his history with Walt, pretty much a testimony that they're going to turn in. I think. However, because there is no physical evidence and Waltz has left the meth business, Hank has nothing sufficiently incriminating to take to the authorities. They could take the tape, but it's just his word against Walt's word, which Jesse kind of alludes to as they're kind of questioning him and stuff. So Walt leaves a voicemail for Jesse asking to meet in a public plaza in downtown Albuquerque to discuss Brock's poisoning and to reconcile. And we see by the end of the episode, Walt actually meant to do this. Like, he actually did. Like, there was some crazy, crazy good directing and crazy good cinematography that focused on this man. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. Oh my god, it was so fucking insane and so suspenseful when you were watching the last scenes of this episode. Hank coerces the reluctant Jesse to comply, despite Jesse's fear of his own safety. So, like, he's kind of saying, Walt could fucking kill me right here, You just never know what's going to happen, He's Heisenberg. If you're a threat to him, he's going to kill you, Hank reassures Jesse by recounting Walt's previous attempts to protect him at his own expense, and states that since the meeting is in a public place, he will be safe. And I think so too. I think it was kind of unreasonable for Jesse to be like, oh my god, Walt's gonna fucking kill me here. You know what I mean? I don't think Walt would have ever been dumb enough to take Jesse to this public place and have someone shoot at him. I mean, I don't know. It just seems kind of ridiculous. It makes Walt look like a shitty person. It would look like Walt planned it. People aren't like getting the word out that he's Heisenberg or anything. That doesn't happen for a couple of episodes, but still, it's not going to look good. People are going to figure out some things. However, privately with Gomez, Hank indicates his dislike of Jesse and indifference to risking his death. If Jesse is killed on camera, it can be used as potential evidence against Walt. So we kind of get this whole revelation thing. We get this whole thing where it's like Hank could give a shit less about Jesse. Like, he's acting like he cares about Jesse. He takes him in as his own, kind of guides him, kind of keeps him safe from authorities. Walt's kind of working against the DEA and kind of doing his own operation here, so he's kind of keeping Jesse safe. He's kind of saving his ass for the moment. And I think without Hank, I don't know if Jesse would have necessarily got away with anything. I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. Sorry, I just keep looking at my computer to make sure everything's looking good. He's like, who cares? This junkie could fucking die and we could just have evidence. We're just going to use Jesse for evidence, nothing else. We don't care about him as a person. This is just another example of, Jesse being manipulated. First Walt, now Hank. So, wired for sound, Jesse goes to meet with Walt, but backs down after mistaking a nearby pedestrian for a hitman. So he discussed it before. He's like, there could be a top of the clock tower type of guy that could shoot me down. And he thought that was what that was, that guy standing there. Angered, Jesse goes to a payphone to call Walt and threatens him, telling him that he will get him where he really lives, pretty much threatening to kill Walt. It turns out that hitman, it was crazy because Walt was like walking towards this guy and then he barely veers off to the right, and his daughter's like, Daddy, this guy's a loving father. He wasn't a hitman. It's kind of insane. You guys just have to watch it to know what I'm talking about, of course. So a furious Hank berates Jesse for blowing the plan, but Jesse calmly informs him that he has a better strategy in mind, and we will find out the next episode what that strategy is. Meanwhile, Walt calls Todd, requesting another job for his Uncle Jack. And the cliffhanger is, the implication of Walt is that he's going to have Todd, Jack, and his whole family kill Jesse. That's the plan now for Walt. Walt's ratting him out to the police. Well, I guess Walt doesn't know this. Jesse's not complying, so Walt has to take it in his own hands, I suppose. The episode's a pretty damn good episode. It's not in one of the better episodes of Breaking Bad, but it's pretty damn intense. It does a lot for the show. It leads into some crazy shit. These storylines are so unique and things I just never thought I'd see. But anyways, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is my last YouTube video for the day. I'm probably going to take a break till at least 9 or 10 where I'm probably going to be streaming. I'm not sure. I kind of want to take a break from streaming. Video games aren't that good anymore. Madden comes out here in like a week and a half, so there's that.